Hello and welcome to this new Autocad 2019 video tutorial. So previously we've seen how to generate templates, 2D drawings, 2D assemblies, and today we will be introduced to the very basics of 3D modeling. So I'm going to open up no drawing. I would just like to mention something that I forgot to mention in the previous videos. I highly suggest, you should put everything into separate layers. So you should create a layer for your center lines and center marks, a layer for your construction lines if you're using any, a layer for your annotations, a layer for your text, and a layer for each object that you're drawing that will allow you to visualize everything a little bit better. So it's something that you should be doing. I've shown you how to create new layers, how to freeze them, how to delete them. So you should be fine carrying out that task. So I'll be introducing you to the basics of 3D modeling. So I'm going to start by drawing just a simple rectangle. So let's say 100 by 100. And now, if you have a look at your navigation cube, you can rotate everything if you want. So we don't need to rotate it in this case, but if you have a look at this cube, if you click on one of the corners, you can change the orientation at which you view it, and our mouse changes. So now our mouse is isometric. So if you wish to navigate in 3D, hold shift and press your mouse wheel. So when you don't hold shift, when you press your mouse wheel, you use pan, but if you hold shift, you can 3D view your object with more ease. If you wish to go back to the top, then you click on top. Now I'm going to move the object, move it from this corner here, move it from this corner, just so it's closer to the origin. Okay. So the most basic way of 3D modeling is what we call wireframe modeling. So I can, for instance, use my copy command, select this object from this endpoint. So now if I move in this direction, it's moving on my y-axis, as you can see. If I pull in the direction of the red arrow, it's going in the x direction. If I pull up, it's moving in the z direction. So if I move it 100 mil up, I hit escape. So right now we have two squares. So the following thing that I will be doing now is I will draw a line linking each endpoint. Press enter, press enter again. That one goes with that one. So as you can see, we've 3D modeled a cube just by using lines, just by drawing in 3D. So this was the old school way of 3D modeling and the way you would use on paper. However, in AutoCAD you will normally use solid modeling. However, if you're going to draw very complex shapes, it's normally easier to start with wireframe modeling, then turn it into a surface, and then turn it into a solid. It's a very common technique used in the marine industry or in the product design industry when you have to design a complex shape, because it's hardly achievable by using solid modeling in some cases. This case would be easy. So the next technique is what we call surface modeling. So for instance, if we go to the bottom of our screen in our settings tab, click there and switch from drafting and annotation to 3D modeling. So we're now in our 3D modeling environment. So if I go on surface, here I can see all of my surface tools. So I can probably use the patch command. So actually patch only works in current surfaces or 3D models. So what we'll do, I will explode my rectangle or square. I have just exploded both of them. I'll try loft. So I'll select my section that I want to loft, my other section, and press enter. I can also select guides if I want to, so I can select this guide and this guide. So we've just created a planar surface there. So that's an actual surface. If you go back to home, and here as you can visualize, so if you go instead from tool the wireframe, we go that to conceptual. Now we can see that we've created a surface using the loft command. You can, for example, create a surface using the extrude command. So I'll go on extrude, select my surface, press enter, and extrude it by 100 mil. I can also, if I go back to surface, I should also be able to use sweep. So I can, for example, select this line, which is the object to sweep, press enter, select the sweep path, done. I can use probably planar. So I can draw a planar surface from I'll apply the command again from that corner all the way here. Just created a planar surface there. I can again loft these two edges again. Use my blue selection tool. So I'm lofting those. So right now I can also use network, and I can select all of these edges, and it will create a network of surfaces between them. So you can see there are many ways to create surfaces, which provides you a lot of freedom. It didn't work for some reason. I can use patch as well, for instance. So I can create a patch between them. So what we've got here is we went from a from a wireframe model to a surface model made out of 8 surfaces. So now I can turn all of this into a solid. If I use the sculpt command or surf sculpt, what I will actually do is just copy all of these surfaces. I made a few copies. Use the copy command. I'll delete them here. So we've got our wireframe model, we've got our surface model, and now we'll produce a solid model out of it. So I'll highlight all of it and I'll type surf sculpt. And what this command does, as you can see in the image, basically trims and union surfaces that bound a region to create a watertight solid. So basically this surface box is hollow, and by applying the surf sculpt command, it will fill the void and turn it into a full solid. So when you hover over it, you can see the difference. You can see the mesh of the surface, and this one you can just see solid region. When you keep the mouse on it, it tells you, AutoCAD tells you what it is. So surface patch, here is a surface planar, surface extrusion, 3D solid, and this is just a wireframe model. So I'll show you something else. If I copy all of this, and I'll copy it once again. So if I try to extrude these lines, if I highlight it and then I hit enter, so you can see it's extruding them as a surface because the lines are separate individual entities. However, if I join all of my lines before, and now hit extrude, oh sorry, I used to erase ext, the command for extrude, press enter. Now as you can see, it's extruding as a solid because I joined the lines before. So it's not extruding 4 lines, it's extruding all the area between the 4 lines. So now if I go back to home and change my view style from conceptual to 2D wireframe, now we can see the difference. So this is our real wireframe, 4 lines. This is our surface model, which we can see the mesh here, and this is our 3D model, our real 3D solid. So now you may be wondering, oh why is it necessary to do all of this? If you want to produce a simple shape like a cube, you would just normally draw this square and extrude it, because it's the simple and most efficient way of doing it. Because if you want to see the wireframe model, you can always use these visualizers, which produces you the same result. So you may be wondering why to use wireframe modeling and surface modeling then, when you can just skip all of those steps and create this. And I will be showing you why. So if I now go on my top view and go on my drawing tools and create just a random spline, press enter. So if I now draw another spline, press enter. If I now change my view, move the second one up from here, turn on my ortho mode. If I now draw a line from here all the way there, It could be another spline if needed. So I've just done a wireframe model for this. Now I can go on my surface and I should be able to either use network. So select curves on first direction. This is my first direction. Press enter. Select curves on second direction. Press enter. And as you can see, it has generated a surface model of it. So how could you create this as a solid? Because it's a complex shape, as you can see, it's convex and concave. You can't simply extrude one shape into the other. It's just too complicated. So this is mainly the reason, well, where you would use first wireframe modeling to produce a basic wireframe, then surface modeling. This is exactly how you produce a complex shape and then turn it into a solid, simply the easiest way. So this will be it for this tutorial. We'll be going into more detail with solid modeling in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.